It's my pleasure and honor to be here with Rabbi Mark Borovitz, who, for the last 28 years, has been the senior rabbi of Beit Tshuva, a treatment center in Los Angeles, which is roughly 90% Jewish. Incredibly unique place. If you've never checked it out, please do. His first book was called Holy Thief, and his most recent, which you've got to check out, is called Finding Recovery and Yourself in Torah, published by Jewish Lights. So it's a great privilege to have a few minutes to talk with you.
It's my honor. It's my honor.
Thank you. So my first question for you is what exactly is Beit Tshuva, and what's the nature of your work there?
Well, Beit Tshuva is a Jewish faith-based, non-sectarian, residential addiction recovery center. And we integrate Judaism, the 12 steps of the Anonymous programs, and psychotherapy. Judaism is the foundation of all of it, Jewish spiritual values and principles. And when you walk in, you know that it's a Jewish place and you feel like you're at home. That's what we've been able to do over these last, it's going to be 30 years that Beit Tshuva's been in existence, and we continue to keep mission over money. We take everyone, whether they can afford it or not. In fact, 70% of our people pay $500 or less for treatment.
Wow.
Per month. Wow. And we're nationally recognized. We're JCO certified, and even President George W. Bush mentioned us and had us at a roundtable discussion about faith and recovery.
Wow. So what's the nature of your work? Like, how do you spend a typical day?
Well, my day is talking to people.
Yeah.
Whether talking to staff people, talking to residents, talking to families, talking to donors, talking to people from the community. Yeah. My whole thing is to help people live well. So, as a rabbi, I am the advocate for the soul of the other person. I'm the advocate for the soul of the institution. I'm the advocate for the soul of our community. And so I'm always learning more about everybody and myself at the same time.
Right. Beautiful. So it's safe to say the prison system in America is pretty broken.
Very.
And Beit Tshuva, one of the exciting parts is that it can be an alternative to incarceration, which is amazing. When you've seen, and I think you said roughly maybe a third of your residents are coming out of prisons, when you've seen people over the decades come out of prisons, what kind of effect on their psyche and soul does it have?
Well, don't forget, I'm one of those people that came out of prison.
Yes.
So, prison, overall, it affects the psyche because our system is not about rehabilitation, it's about incarceration. So what happens is, you go to prison, you get locked up like an animal. Now, to go to prison, you had to do things that were non-human.
Right.
You had to take advantage, you had to hurt, you had to really crush the human spirit and dignity of another person.
Yeah.
So, then they lock you up, they let you out for meals and whatever, exercise. And then one day they open up the door to the prison and say, now go out and be a good boy or girl. Yeah. So the problem is there's no rehabilitation done there. And they've taken away more and more and more of the rehabilitation. When I was in prison, there was a full-time rabbi there. Now there's, maybe a rabbi gets 20% of his time at one prison and they chop it up. So there's nobody there to help the prisoner relearn the basic human kindness and dignity, and to see the dignity and worth of themselves as well as other people. Wow. Now, as you go up in levels, in the different systems, you're isolated more. And it becomes more of a gladiator school, where this one is pitted against that one. Right. And the treatment of prisoners they're subhuman by a lot of the guards.
Yeah.
And so you're constantly barraged with isolation, hopelessness, and the message that you're no good. That, you already go into prison feeling that, and that constant barrage of messages and the isolation and the fear, because there's great fear of the other inmates. It just, you take people who are already closed and it just closes them up, makes them more protective, and they come out, and when somebody's kind to them, it takes them a while to believe it. Because it's so foreign to them.
Right. Wow. I've had the opportunity to visit prisons on numerous occasions. I was just in a detention center a few days ago, and I think of the people I met there. They were immigrants who were caught, and their spirits were completely broken. They've been there for years without any legal advocates. I can only imagine how it is to recover from that type of experience.
Yeah, it's really difficult.
Yeah.
It's difficult because to go to prison you had to do something, and you have this demon. A demon that says you're no good anyway. A demon that says why not do XYZ, whatever XYZ is, and on top of it, I think they say now 60 to 70% of the people, and I think it's higher. Well, they say 60 to 70% of people have drug addictions. Then you put in gambling addictions and sex addictions and food addictions, and you're probably at 90% of the people come out and they're still addicted.
Right.
They may not have been using anything,
Yeah.
and yet they're still addicted because they have that demon of addiction in them, and so they go back because they believe the addiction is going to be the solution. And it really just explodes all the different problems.
So my last question for you is, you work with a lot of people, and I wonder what kinds of choices do people make that almost inevitably will lead towards failure, and what types of choices will people make that almost inevitably will lead towards success? Changes in their behavioral patterns and their psychological models.
Well, the first thing that will guarantee failure is hopelessness. We have a society that says a leopard doesn't change its spots. That may be true for a leopard, it's not true for humans. So most people don't believe change is possible. So if they come in and they're sure that I'm just doing this again, I'll go through the motions, and you don't reach them as individuals, it's about an 80-20 percent that they won't succeed. When people come in and say, you know what, I know I need to change, I don't know how. So, teachable versus unteachable. Hope or possibility versus hopeless and impossibility. Where we've had the most success is that we treat people as individuals. So what Shmuley needs in order for his recovery is different than what Mark needs for his recovery. And we have to tweak it to meet you. So we believe in meeting people where they're at. Proverbs says, teach each child according to their understanding. So the best hope, I believe, and my experience teaches me, is to teach and meet each person and speak to them in a way that they can hear.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're a hero to me and to so many others for having built and nourished a model that is so crucial. And it's sad that there haven't been others that are flourishing similarly.
Yes.
But you've done your part in this and continue to do it. I urge you to potentially access Beit Tshuva if you or someone else can benefit from there, and also to check out this book, Finding Recovery and yourself in Torah. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm a fan of yours.